Well, thank you very much for attending today. One of the things that we're going to be able to look at is some new state-of-the-art technology for testing jewelry. And we've got a couple of guest speakers that will be with us today. Mr. Ken Swiss from Oxford Instruments and Mr. Brett Cleveland from the Fashion Jewelry Accessory Trade Association. But first, what I'd like to start with is an overview of MTS. A lot of people ask, what does MTS stand for? And the answer to that is Modern Testing Services. And I think the key is the word modern, because of the fact that we are demonstrating an ongoing commitment to our customer base to ensure that we have some of the most up-to-date and popular testing equipment, most advanced technology available in the industry to suit our customers' needs. So we're going to take a look at the history of how MTS evolved, including our global network, what makes us different, some of our achievements, and then our division capabilities and capacity, as well as we'll have our guest speakers that will be able to discuss the instrumentation that we'll be looking at today, as well as some of the associations that are available for jewelry retailers. So MTS's background was founded by Mr. Juan Park, who has over 40 years of experience in the testing industry. Originally, many of you may be familiar with MTL, which was founded by Dr. B.J. Park and Mr. Juan Park. Well, MTL was sold in 2001, and in 2006, MTS opened its first laboratory. Some of our core strengths focus on hard lines and soft lines, toys and children's products, chemical and electrical testing. And as you can see through the evolution, we've made quite a number of acquisitions up through the current year. We'd like to say that we've inherited the good genes of MTL. We prefer to design testing programs with the flexibility of being a privately held company. We have over 600 staff, and greater than 50% of them with educational levels above postgraduate PhD. We have 16 locations around the world, and that's continuing to increase. We have a facility that will be opening later this year in Qingdao. And for updates on our most recent location list, you can always visit our website at mtsglobal.com. So some of our services, as we discussed, are toys, children's products, electrical, hard lines, soft lines, and of course, chemical testing. Lately, there's been an increased focus on restricted substances programs, and substances of very high concern. But in addition to laboratory testing, we offer a wide variety of field services as well, which includes product inspections, social compliance audits, and factory assessments. Our management team, comprised of more than 35 years of experience in Hong Kong, China, Taiwan, USA, and Europe, and we are very actively involved in industrial, academic, business organization, and legal seminars, so we can stay on the cutting edge of regulatory changes, as well as the cutting edge of new technology, such as what we'll be seeing later on today. What makes us different? We have a simple equation here. Our pricing, very aggressive and competitive pricing globally on all of our testing, as well as our field services. We have less overhead. We are not a corporation that has stockholders that we need to report to. Again, we have the flexibility of being privately owned, so we can utilize that flexibility and be able to create and fine-tailor programs that is going to suit your specific needs. Some of our value-added services, we're not just limited to things such as product testing and doing inspections or social compliance audits, but we have the ability to also utilize our expertise from a consulting perspective. So to be able to sit with us, discuss your specific needs, and again, let us help you find tailor a program. And here's an overview of some of the clients that we're working on. And we have forged some very good relationships across the industry in categories such as soft lines, hard lines, toys, and we have some very unique programs that we are starting for substances of very high concern and restricted substance programs. From an accreditation standpoint, here's an overview. We are CPSC approved as a third-party testing facility, and we maintain all of our active accreditations around the world. Toys and children's products, perhaps there's never been a category that's been as scrutinized as children's products, toys, durable nursery goods, and childcare articles. Again, our CPSC accreditation allows us to service all of those retailers that sell these types of products. Restricted substances, we can see that there's been heavy regulations in the European Union, as well as the state of California with CalProp 65, and it's an indication to us that this trend is going to continue and it's going to be addressed from a federal perspective for the entire United States. We are paying particularly close attention to those types of chemicals and substances, and we're ensuring that we have the ability to test accordingly to ensure that your products that you're sourcing are safe for your customers. Heavy metals testing, one of the areas that we're seeing, again, a lot of focus on is nickel testing. And Mr. Swist from Oxford Instruments is going to be able to discuss the equipment capabilities that we have recently acquired. And as we've seen in the industry, the XRF services are continuing to gain more and more popularity and being requested, mainly due to the fact that it's a much shorter turnaround time for testing, and we've been able to determine that there are very accurate results that help a client with the screening process of their products. So whereas typically we would use wet chemistry to be able to determine things such as lead content, now we're able to reduce the amount of turnaround time to as little as 5 minutes for substrate analysis and 10 minutes for surface coating analysis. So how is this impacting our customers? Well, we can look at as much as a 40% savings from surcharges that are directly related to employing the newest technology available in the market today. 5 working days was turnaround time. We can get it down to 3 working days without a 40% surcharge. The additional time for composite test results, it was a factor that needed to be taken into consideration. Now, there's no additional time required for us to do that. Soft lines testing. When you start thinking about soft lines and how it relates to chemical analysis, the things that you want to keep in mind are soft lines carry over into other particular areas as well, such as accessories, handbags, hats, headbands, gloves. But also for general wearing apparel, there are lots of either metal or plastic components with attachments, embellishments, screen prints, zippers, and things of that nature, in which case the newer technology that we're employing will have an impact not just on the jewelry industry and the hard lines industry, but also in the soft lines industry as well. So there are still a number of items that are regulated by the CPSC, such as furniture that can have surface coatings, and other metal components or plastic components as they apply to some of these categories that you see here. And of course, our capabilities for hard lines and soft lines testing, as it has been traditionally, is full service in 16 locations around the globe. So jewelry is going to be one of our main focuses today. And can see here the categories that we can focus on. It's not an all-inclusive list, in the fact that jewelry is a very unique category where styles and fashions change on such a frequent and regular basis. It's reassuring to know that when time is of the essence, we're able to give you results that will help you make business decisions, which will help you in turn save time and money. Our capabilities for testing are not obviously limited to the United States. We can test for EU, European requirements, Canadian, and requirements in China. And it's not even from an international perspective, but as we've seen from a lot of the legislation that's happened over the course of the last few years, there are individual states such as Illinois, of course California, and other areas that we're starting to see take a stand on establishing some regulatory requirements for products in their state. Again, just a quick overview of some of the analytical testing requirements for jewelry. It's starting to very much mirror that of what we see for toys. So we can, with a high degree of confidence, anticipate that this trend is going to continue. And some of the associations that are involved with the jewelry industry, again, our guest speaker, Mr. Brent Cleveland, will talk about the Fashion Jewelry and Accessory Trade Association. And you can see some of the other organizations that are really making a very concerted effort to help establish stringent programs to ensure the safety of jewelry, not only for children, but also for adults. So our background, to summarize, is a combination of merchandising, manufacturing, and lab engineering that provides perspective and impartial consideration to carry out quality assurance testing. We've gathered some of the most talented individuals in the consumer products testing industry, and we're very pleased to say that they are MTS employees.